kilowatts are playing Pinpoint, then the Bears may have been playing Hilton Head, Richland, Blue Devils or something like that. So there's usually a couple of games going on in the city of Savannah, black games on Sunday. So it was very interesting.
So I saw that, so Sportsman Park opened in '46.
Yep.
And it said that it was the second ballpark owned by African Americans in the city of Savannah. Are you aware of one prior to that?
No, that I have not. Now you're going to get me to start digging.
Okay.
That I'll have to find that out. Do you remember where they said it may have been?
It didn't specify in that
Yeah.
article. I've looked before, so I know, of course, there's Soldier Field.
Okay. Soldier Field was over on off of President.
I know of Flamingo Park. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about
Yeah.
Flamingo Park. You're the most I've heard anyone talk about Flamingo Park. Of course, Cann Park.
Yeah.
And then, of course, people talk about Beach High School being a big place for, baseball, as well as they changed the name of the high school. It's on Victory, going down.
Oh, Savannah High? Okay, there's no high school on Victory. Savannah High sat off of Victory and Johnson sat off of.
Johnson, that's what it was.
Okay,
yeah.
Johnson originally, the colors of Johnson is blue and gold. The colors of Savannah State, not blue and gold, I'm sorry, thinking about Beach. Let's see, there's only one high school in Savannah, and that's Beach, that's where I went to. But anyway, the colors of Johnson is blue and orange. The colors of Savannah State is blue and orange. A lot of people do not realize that Johnson got its start as a part of Savannah State being known as Powell Lab. And this is where they came. So when the students who went to Johnson, all of them were bused on city buses to Beach. At that time, there were only two black public high schools, and that was Beach and Tompkins, which is Woodville now.
Oh, Woodville as well. That's
Yeah.
the one a lot of people would also talk about.
Okay, it was Woodville, and then it became Tompkins, Sophronia Tompkins, in West Savannah. And what's very unique about Savannah in the black community, you have the west side, you have the east side. If you go to Bull Street, stand in the middle, face toward the river, your right arm is on the east side. Your left arm is on the west side. When you hear people talk about East Savannah, you're talking about that part of Savannah that's around Pennsylvania Avenue, Gwinnett Street, all the state name streets, Texas Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, Delaware Avenue. That is East Savannah. West Savannah is when you get to that part of Lathrop and Augusta Avenue. That is West Savannah. Then when you get further out, where Tompkins is, that was out in the Rosenau Hill area. So there are these little unique little enclaves of the community. So there's where a lot of this, but yeah, you were saying that someone mentioned Beach. There were no fields at Beach. And Beach, when they had their football practice, they didn't have a field to practice on. When Beach practiced football in the 50s, they came to Cann Park. And us kids would sit there on the ground watching them practice and have to run like crazy whenever they had a sweep and they would get out of bounds. So we would get up and run, and we would sit there and play with the balls and play with the dummies, practice dummies and stuff like that. But there was no field. Even when I went there is when they actually started clearing the land behind the school to where we actually had a football practice field. We never did have a baseball field. So when I played baseball at Beach, we had to go, we practiced wherever we could find a space, but we played, most of our games were played at Grayson Stadium.
Do you remember the integration of Grayson Stadium when Junior Reedy and Elbert Israel integrated the team?
No.
No.
I mean, all of a sudden I knew we couldn't go, then all of a sudden there was only a section that we could sit in. And then the next thing you know, everything started happening in the 60s. So that's when the change started. That's when I realized when we could start going, like I say, start playing ball there. On Friday nights, Thursday, in Savannah, the big time for high school sports, especially football, was Thursday night. And this is when we would play our games in Grayson Stadium. And this was days before Memorial Stadium. This is also before even Savannah State got their athletic field or stadium. They played in Grayson Stadium. So it's like I say, the conditions of Savannah at the time, it was very unique. And it was, now that we're sitting here thinking about it, I wonder why they never played games, any kind of football game at Sportsman Park.
Because it is pretty big over there.
Yes.
Because I've taken a few pictures there. I saw it when they first tore it down.
Right.
And now I've seen it recently where it's
flat. Yeah.
Of course, they still have that one light post right in the middle.
Okay.
For some reason, that hasn't been torn down yet.
But now that we sat here and talked about it, I'm surprised no one ever played there. Now, what's very unique about there, one of the last owners, or one of the owners of that, is the Wheeler family. Okay, one of the Wheelers married my first cousin. So there's that little connection there. So
because I've spoken with Millard Wheeler a few times. And
the son, the number 3, I think, the third.
And I found him because I think I found his wife, who I believe she cut hair or something. She had something online.
Okay.
Found the phone number through that, called him. I had like a little phone interview where he talked about how his grandfather used to own the park.
Yep.
And then once his grandfather died,
Then his dad.
Yeah, then it kind of got mixed up who owned it. And I'm trying to get back in contact with him because I believe he still has the plaque that says when Sportsman Park was made.
Okay.
So
I haven't talked to him because at one time he was living here, and I think since he has moved to North Chatham or Effingham County, someplace in there. So it's been a while since I've talked to him. So yeah, that would be a good source, and I can try and call his uncle to see if he has a connection, some kind of way to get in touch with you. And that way I can give him your number so he can call you, something like that. So we can, get that going.
because he did give me the name of the man who painted Sportsman Park, did all the graphics on the side, like the hamburgers and hot dogs, but that number just rang on and on and on. Do you remember any other names that maybe stuck out to you of people who played there? Because I found names like Bully Wooly, a guy by the name of Ice Cream.
It is so unique because like when you look at, usually it had to do with something they did. I mean, what I'm trying to think some of the Negro League players, some of their names that, the one gentleman they said was so fast that by the time you cut the light off, he'd be the third base type of thing. Or when he went to steal second base, he was not trying to steal second base, he was actually going to third base. And so it's, that type of thing. So people who did little things like the ice cream, 9 out of 10 times that was his favorite treat. So, these are just, like I say, for whatever reason, just those two names stick to me, Alvin Waters and Ben Logan.
Yeah, I've heard of Ben Logan before. He was brought up to me by a Nate Smalls, also went by Bobo, or
Yep.
in Savannah he said his nickname was Cantaloupe.
Okay.
And they said it was because his head looked like
Like a
cantaloupe.
cantaloupe. Yeah. It's just some of these things that it kind of stuck. Maybe it's someone on the team gave it to him. It's just one of those things. But you know, one of the things, I was young when they were playing, so I'm amazed at how much I still remember about it, because I think I was 4, 5, 6 years old when a lot of this was going on.
So you mentioned a little bit about Grayson Stadium and the segregation that was going on there. I came across some stories about some boys who went swimming in Cann Park there, and it was a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court. Do you remember this going on in Savannah?
That one I don't remember, but I remember. Now, if you sit and look at the whole city of Savannah from when, like I was saying, like from East Savannah, West Savannah, the West Side and everything, there was only one black swimming pool. That swimming pool is still there today on the intersection of 39th Street and Ogeechee Road, which is Tompkins Pool.
Okay.
That was the only pool we had.
That's been there for quite a while though,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Because that's on some Sanborn maps, and it's just labeled
Yes.
like colored swimming pool.
Yeah. Now, what's very unique about it is, like I say, this was on the corner of 39th and Ogeechee Road. Right across from the swimming pool was, directly across was a Shell gas station. On the corner of the Y, or the split in between 39th Street and Ogeechee Road, was a gas station. The swimming pool ran this way, which would be from Ogeechee Road, would be on the west side of it. There used to be a radio station that was right next to it that had a very tall tower, and I've often wondered what happened to that tower. But also, when you go to 37th Street and Ogeechee Road, on the northeast corner used to be a lounge, which was Bernie's Lounge. On the northwest corner is where Bernie actually lived. It's almost like a star. If you go straight, you go on 37th Street, which goes down the hill, goes into Laurel Grove Cemetery. Right on that corner is a big 2-story house. That house faces Ogeechee Road. When you go past that house on 37th Street, right behind it today, you see a vacant place. That was a gym. That was a basketball gym. That particular recreation area was called the 4 S's. And that is when they moved from the 4 S's, and that's when they built the Tompkins gym, which is in front of the pool where we had to go. But back in the day, we could go up to, because the swimming pool in Cann Park was up on a hill. We could go up on the hill and grab the fence and look in, but that's as close as we could get to going into the pool. During the 60s, here in Liberty County, I'm associated with a museum and cultural center that's known as Geechee Kunda. The founder of Geechee Kunda is a gentleman by the name of Jim Bacote. When Jim Bacote was a young man in Brunswick, Georgia, they filed a federal suit against the state of Georgia because at one time, the only thing we could do on Jekyll Island was work. Then they opened one little area up, which became a hotel and motel and stuff where we go, which was, when you go on to Jekyll Island, you come to the stop sign, which right where the Coliseum is, you turn to your right, which today is the 4-H club camp. That was the Black Beach. That was the only way we could go for pleasure. Jim Bacote came up and said, since our parents' monies are paying for the public beach of Jekyll Island, we should have access to the full beach, not just this little section. He and I think about 4 or 5 of his friends, all teens, filed the lawsuit, of which they won. And they opened it up. So this is probably during the same time as the incidents in Savannah where things were trying to open up. What a lot of people do not understand and realize about Savannah, one of the unrecognized hero of Savannah that should be praised, and a lot of people forget him, and is a gentleman by the name of Benjamin Van Clark. He was right at 4'9", 5 foot, big guy, but he was called a little general. And the reason why he is forgotten a whole lot was